Today, we're embarking on a journey through one of the most fascinating and tumultuous chapters in American history: the rise and fall of the national banking money power. This is a tale of ambition, intrigue, and a struggle for control over the very lifeblood of our nation: money. Our story begins with a quote from Andrew Jackson, a man who stood as a bulwark against the encroaching power of the banks. Justice, full and ample justice to every portion of the United States, should be the ruling principle of every freeman. These words echo through the corridors of time as we explore the battle for America's financial soul. From the earliest days of civilization, power has manifested in many forms. We've seen conquerors, priests, and now, in the modern age, a more insidious force: the money power. This power, as described in M.W. Walbert's book, The Coming Battle: A Complete History of the National Banking Money Power in the United States, is a gigantic combination of money dealers, an international trust of usurers, wielding influence over governments and economies worldwide. Let's rewind to the late 18th century. The United States was a fledgling nation, and the debate over the Bank of the United States was raging. Enter Alexander Hamilton, the architect of the bank, and Thomas Jefferson, his staunch opponent. Hamilton, with his aristocratic background and connections to the wealthy elite, saw the bank as essential for the nation's financial stability. Jefferson, on the other hand, viewed it as a threat to democracy, warning of its potential to corrupt politics and concentrate power in the hands of the few. The Bank of the United States was chartered in 1791, and with it, the first organized money power emerged. It had the exclusive right to issue legal tender paper money, and its influence grew rapidly. But in 1811, Congress refused to renew its charter, leading to a financial panic orchestrated by the bank itself. This was a taste of things to come. Fast forward to the War of 1812. The bank, now out of existence, had thrown its weight against the United States, even suggesting the secession of New England. The government, in desperation, issued treasury notes, which were embraced by the people. Albert Gallatin, a prominent statesman, testified to the efficiency of this government-issued money, stating that it carried the United States through the most arduous and perilous stages of the war. The bank, however, was not done. In 1816, it was rechartered with even greater powers. This new incarnation, the Second Bank of the United States, became a colossal moneyed monopoly, controlling the nation's finances and wielding immense political power. It was a master of manipulation, using its influence to orchestrate public sentiment and pressure Congress. Enter Andrew Jackson, the hero of New Orleans, who became president in 1828. Jackson was a man of unwavering integrity and a fierce opponent of the bank. He saw it as a corrupt institution, a threat to American liberty. In his first annual message to Congress, he announced his opposition to the bank and his refusal to renew its charter. In 1832, Congress passed a bill to recharter the bank, but Jackson vetoed it in a message that stands as a masterly exposition of his views on government and the dangers of concentrated financial power. He argued that the bank created a monopoly, benefiting the wealthy at the expense of the common man. His veto was a pivotal moment, a declaration of war against the money power. The bank retaliated by contracting the currency, causing widespread economic distress. But Jackson stood firm, and in 1833 he removed the government deposits from the bank, distributing them among state banks. This bold move was met with fierce opposition, but Jackson's resolve never wavered. He famously remarked that he would not be swayed by man, just as the ripraps resisted the ocean. The bank's charter expired in 1836, and with it, the era of the Second Bank of the United States came to an end. But the struggle for control over the nation's money was far from over. The Panic of 1837, engineered by the bank, plunged the nation into economic turmoil, further fueling the debate over the role of banks in the economy. Now let's fast forward to the Civil War. The financial landscape was changing, and the government needed money to fund the war effort. The solution? The issuance of paper money, known as greenbacks. But the bankers, fearing the loss of their control over the currency, lobbied Congress to limit the legal tender power of these notes. The bankers' influence was evident in the amendments made to the legal tender bill, which restricted the greenback's ability to be used for certain payments. This was a blow to the government's efforts to finance the war and a victory for the bankers, who succeeded in maintaining their grip on the financial system. The story of the national banking system is one of power, greed, and manipulation. It's a tale of how a small group of powerful individuals and institutions have, time and again, sought to control the nation's money supply for their own benefit. The fight against this entrenched power has been long and arduous, with figures like Andrew Jackson and others standing as champions of the people. As we reflect on this history, we must ask ourselves, who should control the money supply? Should it be the government, accountable to the people, or private banks driven by profit? The answer to this question has profound implications for the future of our nation. In the end, the battle for America's money is a battle for democracy itself. It's a fight to ensure that the financial system serves the interests of all Americans, not just the privileged few. As we continue to grapple with these issues today, we can draw inspiration from the struggles of the past and the lessons they hold for us. Thank you for joining me on this journey through history. I hope this episode has shed light on the complex and often contentious relationship between money, power, and democracy. Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep fighting for a fairer world. Goodbye.
This has been a BrightLearn video from BrightLearn.ai on the book The Coming Battle, A Complete History of the National Banking Money Power in the United States by M.W. Walbert. Visit BrightLearn.ai for more fascinating videos like this one, and visit naturalnews.com for full editorial coverage and breaking news on critical stories that keep you informed and aware of what's really going on.